Glory Tottenham Hotspur. Lewis family have injected another £100 million into Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, meaning Spurs could now be looking to spend close to £250 million in this summer transfer window. Now, in this video today, I wanted to rank the 5 players who we're currently linked heavily with in this club that I'd be happy to see joining Tottenham. Now, before we get into this list, I'm not going to include any defenders. We've already signed the likes of Jean-Paul Van Heck and Marco Senesi, and I think those two signings have really improved our depth at center back, and I think they really fit with De Zerbi's system very well. So instead, I want to focus on the midfield and attacking possessions because that's where I think we will need the biggest improvements. These are just the players that I think could genuinely change the way we play and help us compete at a much higher level. 5, we have Mateus Fernandes, who is obviously currently playing for West Ham. He's a midfielder, currently only 21 years old, and obviously he's not finished product. However, I think he is a very exciting player and has a very high ceiling. I think under the right manager, he could definitely develop into a top quality Premier League midfielder. Now, obviously, he has a hefty fee. I think West Ham approximately want, around 80 to 100 million pounds. But I think one of his biggest strengths is progressing the ball from deeper areas. Now, if we look at his statistics here, I think that's one of his biggest strengths is progressing the ball from deeper areas. Now, he's always looking to move the ball forward. If you've seen some of his highlights, rather than playing safe passes, I think he's also very creative in a way. And he loves getting into attacking positions, moving the ball forward into attacking positions. Now, if you look at these statistics, his expected assists, key passes, crosses, and overall chance creation are all well above average. He completes nearly 88% of his passes and averages over 1 key pass per game, which consistently leads to scoring opportunities for the team. In a West Ham team who have been incredibly poor, especially last season. He's been their shining light. I think his overall attacking input per 90 minutes also ranks above 80% of Premier League midfielders. So for Tottenham, I don't think necessarily he maybe walk straight into the starting lineup because he does play in a number 10 position, and probably our best number 10 right now is James Maddison. But I think if he plays in another position in the midfield, he could start immediately as well. He can unlock defenses, progress the ball quickly, and add much more fluidity to our attack. So overall, I think this is a really good signing. I know it's the lowest, that's the top 5, but in this top 5, I would be hoping that Tottenham could sign nearly everybody in this top 5 list. And at number 4, I've got 2 winger options, and yes, they're both from West Ham. Don't worry, I'm not trying to sign their whole squad, but if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose Jared Bowen over Somerville. I think he's higher on my list simply because of his leadership, experience, and consistency. Now, over the past seasons, he's basically, I think, carried West Ham's attack. Last season, he finished with 9 goals, 11 assists. The season before that, he had 13 goals, 9 assists. And before that, he had 16 goals. Now, those are really impressive numbers to begin with in the Premier League. However, when you consider that he's been playing for a very poor West Ham side, and as of late have not been creating enough for him to score, yet he still manages these numbers and produces every season, I think he's one of the most underrated wingers in the Premier League. And I think he works incredibly hard. He presses well. I think his clinical ability is really good. He can create lots of chances. And I think he'd walk straight into our first team. Now, of course, there's Somerville. He's obviously less proven, but I think he's an incredibly exciting player. He's electric on one-on-one situations, has a load of pace. I don't think he's afraid to run directly at defenders and could give us something completely different out wide. So I'd be happy with Somerville as well. But I think Bowen would be a better signing than Somerville. But number 3, we have another set of wingers. Specifically, we have Savinho and Cody Gakpo. Starting with Savinho, I think he's one of the most exciting young wingers around in the Premier League. Now, obviously, he's not getting a lot of game time for Manchester City, but I just love how incredibly direct he is. Loves taking on defenders one on one, and he's kind of like an old school winger, if you know what I mean by that. He's comfortable playing on either wing as well. He can play both on the left wing and the right wing, so he's very versatile. So if we have injuries on either side, I think he can do a good job playing on either end. He's also someone who creates a lot of chances. I think if Tottenham can bring another clinical striker, I think Savinho's creativity could really shine. I also think he'd suit De Zerbi's attacking style very well because he's always looking to attack defenders instead of playing backwards or passing backwards. And as for Cody Gakpo, I know he gets quite a bit of stick and criticism. I think mainly because Liverpool fans last season, he's been missing, quite a few good chances that they have been providing for him. But I think he's still a very decent player, a very good player. Though many Liverpool fans may be criticizing his finishing ability, I still think he's got good finishing ability. I still think he's very clinical. He's very versatile, and while he might not be the best winger in the world or not a superstar, I still think he would drastically improve our winger options that we currently have. Specifically with the likes of Wilson Odobert, who is currently having an injury, so we can't even start him next season. And, of course, we also have Mateus Fernandes, who I think is still developing. He did play decent in last season's game. I'll give him that. But in terms of consistency, I don't think we should be relying on him consistently as a starter. Now, I think Gakpo would have a very good chance of becoming one of our regular starters, and I still believe that there's a very good player in there. Now, we're into my top two. Now, these players are players that I think genuinely we should do our best to sign immediately if we want to go to the next step. I really want these two players in the club, which is the reason why they're in my top two. So coming in at number 2 is Omar Marmoush. For me, a lot of Tottenham fans are 50-50 about this, but I think we need another striker, just for competition. Now, there's been a lot of links that Richarlison might leave. Now, I think Richarlison is a great player, and obviously he's been our top goal scorer last season. For me, I think we still need another top striker. I think both Solanke and Richarlison, they've just not been healthy. Always injured last season. Showed that we simply can't rely on them for an entire season. They're just not consistent enough. And when both of them are unavailable, we really struggle for goals. And that's something we have to address this summer. Now, Marmoush, for me, I think ticks so many boxes. His movement off the ball is exceptional. He's constantly making runs in behind, stretching defenses, and I think finding space inside the box. When you don't see him on the ball, he's always fast and pacey and just knows, I think, the right areas in which to score good goals and create good opportunities. Obviously, he's not starting due to Erling Haaland starting. And so I think if he wants game time, he could walk straight into our team without a doubt. Although I like Solanke, I think it would provide good competition up there in the number 9 position. Now, obviously, the striker market isn't particularly the best right now, but I think Marmoush is one of the few players available who could genuinely move the needle for Tottenham. He is a Premier League proven player. I know we were also linked with Jonathan David, and I know in the World Cup, Balogun, the USA striker, is also in talks with Premier League teams, but I think out of those teams, Marmoush would be the better pick. Coming up at my number 1 position, you probably guessed it, is Sandro Tonali. I think in the previous seasons, especially the last 2 where we finished 17th, we were missing creativity. Mainly because we were missing James Maddison and Dejan Kulusevski. They were our only 2 creative midfielders. They were the ones who were creating everything that led to goals. And if we really want to compete next season in the Premier League and reach for those European spots, we need a top midfielder. And I think Sandro Tonali is the perfect fit for our team. Now, according to The Athletic, he's had the most passes, touches, and tackles plus interceptions for Newcastle. He was the highest among all of them, even ahead of Bruno Guimaraes. He's also ranked 7th for the most progressive passes in the Premier League. Now, if you look at this chart that has been provided for The Athletic, last season, he is ranked 7th. And if you look at these midfielders here, Szoboszlai, Bruno Fernandes, Elliot Anderson, who's also recently just signed with Manchester City for like £130 million, which is crazy. But if you look at this chart, there's a reason why Man City signed him. He's really good with progressive passing. And we see Declan Rice right below Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes, Virgil van Dijk, and also Jean-Paul Van Hecke, who we've also signed. So, if you look at the top clubs right now, currently, Liverpool, Man United, particularly last season, who finished high, Szoboszlai, Declan Rice, Bruno Fernandes, all these top teams have a very good midfielder. And currently, we don't have a midfielder that is consistent enough who can give us goal-scoring opportunities in progressive passes. So this is why Tonali, I think, is in my number one position. If we look at Arsenal last season, I think one of the main reasons why they won the league was because of Declan Rice. And one of the main reasons why Man United finished so high was because they got good progressive passes from Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, he's in this list as well. He got the player of the season, 21 assists, which is crazy. We need that facilitator. We need that creative midfielder. And I think Tonali is just that. He's incredibly versatile. He can play as a number 6, number 8, and even also number 10. I'm very curious if we do sign him, which I hope we do because we're heavily linked with him. I'm really curious to see where De Zerbi would play him. Is he going to play in the number 8, number 6, number 10? I don't know. But I think that's very exciting if we do sign him, where we're going to play him. But that's just how incredibly, I think, versatile he is. He can play in any position there, and I think he can make a very dramatic impact. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please comment down below if you think my top 5 here is completely off, or if you agree with some of the lists. I'd love to hear your opinions on what players you think are your top 5 for Tottenham to sign this summer that we are heavily linked with. Let me know if I'm missing some players that you think we should sign. Thank you for watching, and as always, come on you Spurs.